There is a village in rural Barisal, Bangladesh. It's a normal village with normal people except for one thing. That one thing is really scary. There is an old clay mansion at the edge of town. The villagers call it Hujur Bari, which means the house of worship. Why do they call it that? Well, let me tell you. Long ago, a great religious scholar named Shir Abdul Aziz came to this village. There was a wicked jinn in the area. It possessed people and did terrible things. The religious scholar managed to capture the spirit and seal it inside the house. He used his powers to hide the house from the rest of the world. Nobody was supposed to find it. But every Thursday night at 3 a.m., strange lights can be seen coming from the windows. And if you listen very carefully, you can hear the sound of prayers coming from inside. So obviously, it's a haunted house, right? Yeah, it is. So many treasure hunters and paranormal investigators have tried to enter it, but they never make it out. But why does the ghost want them dead? Well, we don't know. Maybe it just wants to scare people away. Or maybe there's something more sinister going on. Who knows? So now, whenever any outsider dares to enter this house, the villagers warn them not to answer any voices or open any windows after midnight. If they do, then whatever happens, don't blame us. So one day, a young Bangladeshi YouTuber named Rafi decided to visit. He wanted to spend the whole night inside the haunted house. The villagers begged him not to go, but what does a stupid kid know? Right, so they let him go. They took him to the edge of the village and pointed toward the old clay mansion. Then they turned back and walked away. Rafi approached the house cautiously. It looked like any other abandoned house. Vines were growing up its walls and the windows were boarded up. Still, it was strangely inviting. As soon as he stepped inside, though, he felt a sudden chill. It didn't feel like a haunted house. It felt like a tomb. He started walking around, looking for somewhere to stay for the night. He checked the bedrooms, the dining room, and even the kitchen. Finally, he found a dusty old couch in the living room. He sat down on it, but it was hard and uncomfortable. He sighed and closed his eyes. He would just sit here for the night. What could possibly go wrong? Outside, the wind began to howl. Rain started pounding against the roof. Soon, the whole house started creaking. Rafi was scared now. He wished he had listened to the villagers. He started hearing footsteps pacing back and forth on the other side of the wall. Every now and then, he could hear a loud thump, like something heavy being dropped to the floor. Sometimes he would hear a whisper, but when he strained to listen, he couldn't make out what it was saying. When the clock struck 12, everything went silent again. Rafi opened his eyes and looked around. Had it all been a dream? No. The rain was still pouring. Suddenly, he heard his name being called. Someone was standing right outside the window, calling him by his name. He cautiously approached the window and looked out. The storm had died down and a full moon hung in the sky. But there was nobody there. Confused, he opened the window and stepped outside. He looked around, but there was nothing there. Just then, he felt a cold breeze pass through him. Goosebumps formed on his arms. Quickly, he shut the window and locked it. He went back inside and slumped down on the couch. Maybe he was just imagining things, but then he saw his camera move. It was floating in the air above him. He tried to calm himself down. Maybe the wind blew it over. But then he saw a dark shadow emerge from behind the couch. It was a tall, thin figure with no face. Its eyes glowed red in the darkness. It slowly floated past him and vanished into the corner of the room. By now, Rafi was terrified. He tried to run out of the house, but the front door was locked. He started screaming for help, but nobody answered. Suddenly, he felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He turned around and saw a ghastly figure standing behind him. It was faceless and translucent like a spirit. It was wearing a white dress and its hands were outstretched. Then it floated past him and disappeared. He ran to the window, but it was locked. Then he remembered what the villagers said. After midnight, the doors become locked from the outside. All he could do now was wait. As the clock struck 3, he heard a voice. It whispered in his ear, "Now you will understand." Then everything went black. He didn't know if he fainted or if the ghost knocked him out. When he woke up, he was lying on the floor. His head hurt and he couldn't remember anything. All he remembered was the last thing he heard. "Now you will understand." What did that mean? Was he dying? Was this the end? Suddenly, he felt a cold breeze on his neck. He turned his head and saw a pair of glowing red eyes staring at him. He screamed and tried to get away, but the eyes kept following him. He tried to stand up, but his legs wouldn't move. He tried to call for help, but no sound came out. As he struggled to free himself, he saw the face of the ghost. It was pale and expressionless. Then it opened its mouth and lunged forward. Next morning, the villagers came to check on Rafi. They knocked on the door, but nobody answered. Worried, they broke down the door and entered inside. The room was empty. The camera was on the floor, but there was no sign of Rafi. Then they noticed his phone lying on the couch. They picked it up and saw a chilling message on the screen. It read, "I warned you not to enter. Yet you did, didn't you? Now you belong to the house of worship forever, so what happened to Rafi? Did the ghost possess him? Well, we don't know. Some say the Jinn took his soul and trapped him inside the house forever. Others say he simply vanished into thin air. But one thing is certain, whoever enters the house of worship never comes out. Maybe we should leave this place alone. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Now, since we made it to the end of the video, it means you liked it. Please hit the like button. It helps us a lot. Subscribe and share this video with your friends. You can also check out our other videos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.